Welcome back to A People's Guide to Publishing. I'm Joe Beal, the founder and CEO of Microcosm Publishing and Distribution. I'm also the author of A People's Guide to Publishing, which distills what I've learned from selling millions of books over the past 25 years.
I'm Ellie Blue. I'm the editorial and marketing director here at Microcosm. We are an independent mid-list publisher based in Portland, Oregon. We have 14 employees, over 650 titles in print with 20 to 40 new books per year, and we distribute thousands of titles from other publishers.
We started this podcast so that we can share what we've learned with newer publishers so that you can learn from our mistakes.
Or maybe you just want to understand the publishing industry.
This week, we are going to answer a reader question, which is, I am curious which formats of a book are most popular, especially between audiobook and ebook.
Can we go back in time a little to the last decade when everyone was predicting that
Do you
ebooks...
have a time machine?
Yeah, I do.
This rules.
My memory.
Well, readers, you might not get to experience this journey back in time with us, but if you do, congratulations. We're going to make history.
I'm a little embarrassed by my fashion choices from 10 years ago.
I am not.
So yes, in the last decade, many predictions of doom that ebooks would supplant paper books.
I literally went to a presentation at Book Expo 10 years ago exactly, in 2011, where the subject was how to save the print book, and it was panelists from publishers like Abrams and Workman who had basically said that you would make up for the digital consummation of books by adding production flourishes, which was cool and a good idea, and we do it, but some of those prophecies did not come true.
Yes, ebooks have in fact not continued to really increase, have they?
Ebooks, no. 2020 they did, yes. So they've probably been restored to prior sales levels, though, really. So ebooks had an extreme comeuppance from about 2008 to 2012. And then there was some dips, some plateaus, some downright landslides. And, they kind of situated themselves 30 to 40% below 2012 levels by 2019. And then during 2020 with the pandemic, obviously, there was a record bump, but that record bump was 25%. So it wasn't really enough to make up for the...
ebook sales increased 25%, or they increased to 25%?
They increased 25% over their 2019 levels. Yeah. So, ostensibly, they probably are 12% of the market would be my best estimation, at that point. And probably are going to go right back down this year when,
when people can go to bookstores again.
Yeah. And when, shopping habits resume, because, it's this information is not publicly available, but I would venture to guess that mass market sold more books in 2020 than ebooks did, meaning the Costco's and the Walmarts and the Targets of the world.
But there has been a technological revolution in publishing that has majorly affected sales across all formats.
And that format is the audiobook.
Namely, the streaming audiobook.
Yes, downloadable audio killed ebooks dead. And, there was a somewhat regrettable campaign in 2011 that was the revenge of print. And then there were jokes about zombie print and various other, I have nostalgia for print. I really like it better. It would really be best if it was still a viable medium.
Too bad only I want to read print books and everybody else is too modern.
And, I made a movie about this in 2008 even, way back yonder. And because people were already bemoaning the death of print then, it just hasn't happened yet. If ever. I mean, the print could only ostensibly be killed by, globalist costs of moving goods around and,
It's not too late for that to happen.
Efforts, massive changes in the costs of fuel and, things
it is like you're making a prediction of a very likely future scenario.
Tariffs that, many countries have tried to implement over years, but just haven't really taken because, this was like the revitalization of American manufacturing in 2020, etc. So, all told, we are very, very likely to just see the continuance of paperback, followed by hardcover, followed by downloadable audio, followed distantly by ebooks for the foreseeable future.
So has downloadable audio basically just taken ebook share, or has it also taken some share?
It's taken more than. So it's the beautiful format that was what ebooks had promised the industry, in that it is growing books into people that don't read books. So people that are, especially when commuting and and I've done it where I'm like riding my bike to work and I'm like, I'll listen to 45 minutes of a 6-hour audiobook. Why not? It's a great way to consume a book.
When we used to go on tour, man, listening to books in the car was like...
We just chew through them.
The best part.
And so that is ostensibly what happened. And this, we just had the first quarter in a while that didn't have like several 100% of ebook growth over the previous. And in fact, we did have an audiobook drop, which was pretty unprecedented in some years. But, that seems to be not because it's been saturated, but because people haven't been commuting, people haven't been traveling, like we've sort of cut off longer form audio products. Right.
And also, I feel like the growth of, last year people read so many books.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's almost nicer, I think, when you're stuck at home to read a book on paper. Mm-hmm. At least, so says America.
So, paperback, hardcover, audio, ebook, in that order of popularity. There's your answer. Questioner.
Hard and fast. Till next week. Thanks for joining us once again.
Please send your questions to podcast@microcosmpublishing.com so we can answer them on future episodes.
And please give us 5 stars on iTunes and everywhere else that podcasts are reviewed.
You can find us on the internet at microcosm.pub.
On Twitter at Microcosm.
On Facebook at Microcosm Publishing.
On Instagram at Microcosm_pub.
And here in Portland, Oregon on North Williams Avenue.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful week.